Good morning, everybody. Professor Thompson here. It is Tuesday, right after Martin Luther King Day, so I hope everybody had a great Martin Luther King Day. Everybody's doing well as we start into week number 2 of this online class. A couple things I just want to mention right off the bat. There are a couple of you who have yet to log in to Blackboard in the course, and this can be very, very dangerous. So I know that these announcements get emailed to you, and so that some of you may be accessing these videos from those email announcements, but it is imperative that you log into Blackboard to get yourself started on some of the coursework. Most of you at this point, 90% of you at this point, have started into the coursework in some capacity. So I definitely want to welcome you into some of what we have going on. And just as kind of a brief update, I did post grades and scores for the minimal amount of assignments that were completed last week. I read, I think, 12 student introductions and posted scores for those. And I take that back. I will be posting in scores for the 11 of you who have given me your personal report of communication apprehension scores. So there's still, 10 of you or so that need to get me your scores for that first assignment in week 1 where you take the questionnaire. But I have several of you who have submitted that so far. And then several of you have completed that student introduction piece as well. I would encourage you to go online and look at the student introductions of your classmates, read a little bit about them, very interesting backgrounds, from military veterans to aspiring nurses. Many of you are parents, fire science majors. A couple of you have interest in photography. So there's some common threads between some of the information that you've each shared, and it's wonderful to see kind of the diverse nature of everybody in the course, but it's also very interesting and very cool to see some of the similarities that unite us. So I will probably go online here in the next few days and post an introduction of myself. In addition, I might post maybe a little video that describes myself just a little bit more about who I am, so that I too have engaged in that self-introduction component. But I would encourage you to read your classmates if you have a few minutes. You definitely want to jump into and start module number 1 and get that coursework completed. As I remind you from a previous video, those modules are graded on a completion basis. So as you kind of work your way through them, you have until February 10th to complete the modules that are listed before February 10th, and you're going to want to make sure that you finish all those up, but you can leave the module and come back to it and progress through at your own pace. The more questions that you get correct in the modules, the fewer questions you get. The more you get wrong, the computer reads that and sees that you need more questions, more follow-up, and you'll end up spending a little bit more time answering those questions. So it is in your best interest to have read the chapter, to be aware of what chapter 1 is about before proceeding to the modules. There have been several of you who have finished module number 1, and I don't believe anyone, I take that back, I didn't check, but there might have been 2 or 3 of you that have taken quiz number 1 so far. So I would encourage you to begin thinking about week number 2 material and getting into some of the coursework for week number 2 as we have officially started week number 2. I want to reemphasize that our first speech presentation is on February 10th. So any of the material in the course that is listed before February 10th is due on February 10th. So there are several chapters, several modules, but very, very reasonable amount of work for you to complete. I also want to reemphasize what I said in one of my earliest videos. Weeks 1 through 3, those tend to be maybe the toughest of the semester, because there is a couple more chapters as you get into the course. But please take a deep breath. I know that you can finish this. I know that you can get through it. I'm here to help if you have questions or concerns. But I want you to be successful, and let's get off on the right track here. I definitely know that you're going to be fine. So don't feel like any of this is insurmountable. It's definitely something that you can accomplish. You got to pace yourself. I mean, that's as simple as I can tell you right off the top. One of the questions that came to me over the weekend was more of a concern, but is worthy of mentioning. I have many dates as I transfer one course to another and change different assignments and shells and Blackboard material. And so there are times in which I might have an incorrect date. And so I was made aware of some incorrect dates that I have on the weekly course schedule in each weekly tab. So I'm going to work on making some of those corrections, and I appreciate the feedback that I definitely got there. But really the first date where most of your stuff is due is February 10th. That's that first speech date. It's where, chapter 1 is due, the module quiz. It's chapter, I think, 10, 11, 12 possibly. These chapters that are listed in week 2 and week 3 of the course, all of that material is due by February 10th. It's ample amount of time. You just got to kind of sit down and start to kind of progress yourself through it. Okay? So make sure that you are active and actively involved. By no means am I telling you that you need to log in every day. And I think some online professors and courses, you almost have to and require you to do that. But I'm just really saying that you kind of got to be active. You can't put this aside for a week or 2 weeks and expect everything to go smoothly. So, it involves some periodic checking in. It involves some periodic progression, you getting in and doing some of that work. Okay? Again, welcome to the class. I look forward to getting into the grind of things and reviewing and reading some more material as we progress through this course. If you have problems with something, problems with the module, problems with a quiz, the sooner you let me know, the better. Okay? It's getting cold out there. I hope everybody stays warm, and we'll be in touch real soon.